So what do rock stars and rap stars do on their day off on tour? It's time to find out on episode 43, brought to you by reelsandtackle.com.
Welcome to the Telltale Fisherman Podcast, where avid anglers share the story of their best fishing day ever to inspire yours. Now it's time for another epic adventure. So here's your host, John Woodson.
Okay, welcome to the show. Today's guest is Silver Rodgers, and he is coming to us from Las Vegas. Silver, how are you doing, man?
I'm great, John. Thanks for having me. How's everything your way?
Oh, it's pretty good. We're a little chilly here in Florida for what we normally have this time of year, but we're surviving and looking to get back out on the water soon. I hope you're getting a little fishing time in there, out your way.
Oh yeah. You know, out west in Nevada, we don't have a serious winter. It's a joke to most people. So I fished yesterday, did all right.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, I'm real excited to hear about these areas that you fish. I know you fish some really big freshwater lakes out there and reservoirs and things, and that's something I've not had a chance to do. So I'm really excited to hear about that. But before we jump into the big deep water there, how about you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do between your fishing trips?
You announced my name. Yeah. I am born in Tennessee.
Okay.
My parents moved me from Tennessee all the way to California when I was 4. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely a Cali kid, Los Angeles raised.
Okay.
And, I'm in my mid-40s now, been fishing for a little over 25 years. What can I say? I've been in the music industry for quite some time, and fishing was more of a hobby for most of that time. Now it's become just like what I do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm not paying bills, I'm out fishing. That's just my passion in life now.
I like that. Yeah.
There it is.
I'm the same way. Unfortunately, I got too many bills to pay, so I don't get out as much as I'd like.
Hey, life happens for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate fully.
For sure. So what have you done in the music business?
Well, right now I still run an entertainment booking agency. That's how I pay my bills.
Okay.
I'm not a pro fisherman yet, but I used to be a rap artist, producer. I got a couple things out there people are familiar with. My partner in rhyme, so to speak, is a lot more popular than me, the OG Ice-T.
Oh, and, yeah.
Yeah, you look us up. We have a couple albums together, Black Ice. My full name in the industry is Black Silver, and then, of course, Ice-T. So there's a group out there called Black Ice. I'm the Black in Black Ice.
Oh,
and then
cool.
Prior to that, we got singles with Too Short and Spice One and Raz Kaz and Ice Cube, blah 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 blah.
Well, I bet you've got some pretty incredible stories from that would be the subject of another great podcast.
Oh yeah, plenty of those.
Oh, I bet.
That's what I was telling you earlier. I'm fully familiar with recording and interviewing and things of that sort. So this should be pretty smooth.
Awesome. Well, and it's about something that you love, which makes it even easier. So let's jump into the fishing. So tell us about the kind of fishing you like to do now and the types of places you normally fish.
Right on. Like a lot of people out west, I started off in saltwater. If someone says you want to go fishing, you assume you're going to go to one of the piers, mm-hmm. anywhere from Long Beach all the way up to Malibu, drop a line, sit and wait and see what happens. So that's how it started, and then, progressively graduated into freshwater fishing and, learning more about the skills that it takes to become, a bass fisherman. Mm-hmm. Caught my first bass, got hooked real quick.
Yeah.
Took a while to develop the time mm-hmm. to be able to go out and perfect skills and do it, as much as I fish now, and that just comes with age and determination, I guess.
Right. Sure enough.
I had to put myself in the position to be able to go out and fish whenever I like.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you make the move from California to Las Vegas?
I've been in Vegas about 12 years now.
Yeah. And so did that coincide with when you made that transition to really getting into freshwater? I guess when you became a little more landlocked there in Vegas.
Yeah, definitely. It took some time. I mean, I've only been fishing the way I do now, having an Instagram account, posting all my pictures, and just being, really an avid fisherman about 5 years now.
Okay.
When I moved to Vegas, it was for business purposes. I'm a Crenshaw High School graduate, which is in Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
When I took a year off, and then I came to UNLV. So I was familiar with Vegas. After I, got my degree, which was in drafting, and I never used it, but that's a whole nother story. I went back to California. All my friends were either dancing for a rapper or rapping. So, like I said, I didn't use the drafting thing. I just jumped into what all my friends were doing. So, it paid off. I traveled the world, pretty much. Well, not the world, but I've been a lot of places on tours. I was the opening act for the Red Hot Chili Peppers on the Californication tour. So, I did a lot of big things. Yeah, super cool cats too. But anyway, with that, it took me around. I got to see a lot of things. And most importantly, when we were in one place for more than like if we had an extra day, if we weren't just do the show and leave, I'd go and check out a new body of water. That's just always been my little, quiet time. So with that being said, came home, started a family and a business. Didn't really want to do the rap thing anymore. Felt like I was getting a little too old for it. Plus, I didn't like the way the industry was going. And started a business. Since I knew all the rappers that were in the industry, it was easy for me to start a business booking them for gigs.
Right.
And most of the venues and the promoters out there liked dealing with me because they didn't have to pay the expensive management fees that the other large companies. I knew them personally and they do me a favor. So it just worked out.
Yeah.
So after starting a family, after a couple years, then I was like, you know what? LA is just too expensive. I want to buy a home.
Yeah.
That's what made me come to Las Vegas.
I'm curious, you're talking about when you were traveling around and you would check out local bodies of water. Did you just go out on your own and look for new places, or did you fish with guides? How did you typically do that?
Well, normally I didn't really know about guides. I mean, I knew of it, but I didn't know what I know now. Like I could just call someone locally and they could put me on the fish. I wish I did, because I would have done a lot more fishing. But normally it was just me. I'd tell someone, hey, it's our off day. I'll be over here. I'd go someplace locally, buy a little. If we were on a tour bus, then I probably would have already purchased a nice little setup to go check out water. But if not, if we flew in, then I just, go hit a Walmart, that old good thing, and get a quick setup and find a local body of water.
Man, how cool is that? I mean, yeah, it is always neat to fish with guides and do that whole thing in a new place. But I think there's something pretty cool about just going to a new body of water all by yourself and just trying to learn and figure it out. I mean, that's pretty awesome too.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what was some of the coolest things you remember from doing that, from the pond hopping, so to speak?
Real epic day. It was on the Chili Pepper tour. We were we were playing the Gorge, which is an amphitheater up in Washington, I believe, at the tip of Washington. I knew I had friends in Portland, Oregon, which is, not even like 2 hours from the top of Washington.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, they're coming to the show. And then we had an off day. I could drive with them to Portland for some fishing. So, it just worked out perfectly because I was close to people that liked to fish and they knew some, pretty cool private ponds, so we went out and just did our thing. That always, when you know somebody locally that fishes as well, those are the times where it just, everything comes together. But anyway, what made that super cool is the drummer, Chad, and the drummer, Tyler, because the Foo Fighters were on that tour as well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So Tyler, the drummer for Foo Fighters, and then Chad, the drummer for Chili Peppers, they both came out. They fish as well. They like to go do marlin fishing and all that, but when they heard I was going, it was like, can we roll? So we just had Enterprise bring us a van, and then we followed my friends to the ponds and went fishing. So that was super cool.
Oh, yeah. What a great memory. What a great time that must be. Everybody on the tour just saying, all right, we're taking a fishing break and haul up to the local pond.
everyone had heard that that's what I do, you know, because most of the homies, they wanted to go to the local malls and shop or go to the strip clubs. I wanted to go fishing. So they were like, what's up with your beauty? What's up with Silver, you know? But then they just wanted to, they was like, hey, well, we fish too. Can we roll? Let's go. So, yeah, definitely a good experience.
Well, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about the areas you fish now. I mean, you fish in, I think you had told me before, Lake Mead and some of these real big reservoir lakes off the Colorado River, right?
Yep. The Colorado River chain, Lake Mead is huge. I mean, you know, you couldn't fish Lake Mead in a month if you were moving constantly. So it's a big body of water.
Yeah, so talk to us a little bit about how you do that. You know, how do you approach such a huge body of water like that? And are you constantly exploring, or do you have your set areas where you typically go back to all the time?
Well, I mean, you know, you got your hot spots, you know, your honey holes, so to speak, but I don't like hitting them all the time. You know, those are last resorts. You know, once you know the fish are going to hang out there, you know, it gets boring just catching those fish unless you haven't caught anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, every day I get out, I try to go a different direction. You know, sometimes I'll just sit down on Google Earth and plot a course, you know, if I'm on my rig, because I have a little 2-man rig, a Sun Dolphin Pro. I got partners on bass boats. So, you know, if I'm not with them, then I just, you know, I go out and just try to leave, you know, launch from a different place, you know what I mean? And just go see what I can make happen in different bodies of water. I mean, it's the same body of water, but different locations. It's so big, man. It's just, you know, you can find a rock pile and spend a day because that rock pile is the size of most mountains. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, and that's that was the next question I was going to ask you. Is it not only is it wide, it's deep, right? I mean, you can do everything from super shallow to super deep rock piles and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the deepest I've seen, like on the graph, is probably about 340, 360 feet, right around that range.
Wow. I don't even get that deep when I go offshore fishing, you know, 30, 40 miles off.
It's a huge body of water. Like I said, I mean, there's one point on the northern Nevada side, I think it's called the Overland Arm. If you started there and drove to the Arizona side, you could be driving at 60 miles per hour on your boat for close to 2 hours to get towards the end of the AZ side. Big body of water.
That's pretty cool. So do you only fish the big bodies of water, or do you have some small waters out there you like to fish too?
Oh, definitely. Like yesterday, I went to a little, I don't want to say secret spot, but only the real avid fishermen out here know about it. You know, we go, it's a smaller reservoir, and they empty it for about 3.5, 4 months out of the year. They just filled it back up, but when they empty it, they make sure that all the fish go into, I don't even know. That's the big mystery, because every time they fill it back up, it's a healthy population of fish right back again.
Excellent.
So yeah, I fished there yesterday. Caught my second 5-pounder of the year.
Oh, nice.
That was a good thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, mum's the word on that one. We won't let anybody know where that one is.
Yeah, I'm not shouting out that location. That's not cool.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I'm strictly a catch and release guy, and when I first started noticing that people were really secretive about spots, you know, I was like, what's that about? You know, share the love, you know. But you know, on the other spectrum of that, for a person that's strictly catch and release like myself, it's like, oh man, it just pulls at you. It makes your flesh crawl when you see people harvesting bass. You know what I mean? Yeah. At least it does for me, you know. And you know, this fishery just reopened. They just filled it back up, like I was saying, maybe a month ago. Really healthy population of fish, but you know, there were guys taking 10 fish because there's no regulations there. 10 nice, beautiful fish. Yeah, you know, and, you know, I had a good day. Like, I went up there, I think I caught 7. I posted it. That was my first 5+ pounder, like, a couple weeks ago this year. And, you know, and then, you know, but I'm making sure I get some pics and a healthy release. and these guys are just throwing them on the shore or putting them on a string, and it just, I don't know, it frustrates me.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Some fish seem to be more, I don't know, sacred, if you will, if that's the right word. But bass, especially, they're our prized game fish. One of the most prized in the whole country. And yeah, I'm with you. I love seeing them swim away and just dream about them being a big 10-pounder the next time I catch them. Yeah,
and the opportunity to catch them again, exactly, or somebody, it's not you. So
yeah,
and we were talking about Lake Mead. It's such a good water, and there's a huge population of stripers.
Okay.
There, and they're beginning. I haven't caught one myself yet, but a couple people have caught some hybrids, so they're definitely crossbreeding in there. The issue with the stripes are that they are making it very difficult for the largies, for the largemouth and the smallmouth population. Very difficult on the largemouth population. Smallmouth are very aggressive. They kind of hunt and pack, so they're okay. But you can see the largemouth population getting, a little scarce. So we encourage people, if you're going to harvest fish, harvest some of the stripes. They're delicious.
Take those.
And there's plenty of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, do that.
All right, well, when we get back, Silver is going to share one of his most epic freshwater fishing days with us.
Right on. Lake Havasu. Let's go.
So stay tuned.
If you ever go fishing by yourself, it adds a little bit extra challenge to get the boat on and off the trailer. A boat launch cord makes launching much easier, so you can get on the water quicker and without damaging your boat. Go to tell.fish/gear in your web browser and check out the boat launch cord that we like the best.
We are back with Silver Rodgers and have been talking about some of that epic fishing he gets on out there in Lake Mead and some of those other Colorado River tributaries. And I understand the story you're going to tell us today is about smallmouth bass, right?
Yeah, love it. Who doesn't love a good smallmouth bite?
Oh, yeah. So, where were you fishing and, what happened that day?
All right, so me, a good friend of mine, Eli, E. Trout, shout out to E. Trout. We went on his rig. He has one of those Sea Eagles, the inflatable pontoon style crafts.
Oh, yeah.
And real cool situation. He's actually the guy that also made me go ahead and purchase the Sun Dolphin. But anyway, we went out to, I think I said before break, what did I say? I think I said Lake Havasu, but it wasn't Havasu, it was Mojave.
Okay.
Both on the south part of Lake Mead, AZ side. But anyway, we went out to Mojave. Super, if you know anything about Mojave, super clear water. I mean, you can see bottom in 30 feet of water. Crystal clear water.
Wow.
It's like a big lagoon. It's beautiful. So, you can see the fish. Fish can see you.
Yeah.
Well, so, that your
that can be a problem too, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Some skill fish in there, but you can catch fish, and normally when you do, they're really quality. So we were out there. We usually start, like I said, when we're not making big runs on actual bass boats or tracker or something, when we're on our personal rigs, we're real conservative about how far we go, and, we fish a little bit slower, make sure we pick apart each spot because we can't go too far. So, So, there's certain coves that, that we hit kind of routinely. And early in the day, we get out, boom, pitch into some brush, the little corner of a tree, and smack a largie, about 3 pounds. Real nice first fish, good inspiration for the day. When you catch a fish in the first hour, you feel like it's just going to be a good day. So, and especially a nice one, not a big, right? So, boom, get him in the live well. He's healthy. Everything's good. I'm going to take pics of him in a minute. Let's just keep fishing. Maybe there's some more around. So a little bit of time goes by and no fish. Well, we had caught a couple dinks, but we're not really counting those. So we're looking, headed to another cove, and my partner Eli gets on a nice smallie. And I'm like, okay, on these crafts, our live well is normally an igloo. Ice chest, right?
Right.
So I had the largemouth in there. It had been about an hour and a half. I had, put the, what's that thing called? He has that makes bubbles. I can't remember, just to make sure he's breathing okay, has air. And,
Right.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and take a pic of him and let him go. I open up the live well. I reach for my phone. The fish jumps out it was beautiful. It was like we saw it. We were in the Matrix. It was in slow motion. He did this beautiful dive out of the ice chest and back into the water. So I didn't get a pic. You know what they say? No pic. It didn't happen, right? So
that's right. That's what all my friends tell me when I try and tell them about my big fish.
Right. So my partner Eli and I, we crack up laughing, and but anyway, it was a small school of smallmouth under us, so we just focused on that. Now I'm frustrated that I didn't get the pig, but we're on some fish, so let's move on. Yeah. He catches a one. They're not really liking what I'm throwing. I think he was throwing Ned rig out. I don't know what I was fishing at the time, but I decided to switch to a crankbait and just fish a different area because they were liking what he was doing. And like I said, the boat's small, so I didn't want to, keep trying to fish what he's fishing. So first cast, I kind of tossed behind my back, a really awkward cast with a 2.5 square bill, KVD. Never forget it. And I let it sit. I'm pulling out line from my spool as the first crank. As soon as the bait went under the water, bam! I knew it was a good fish. The tug was so nice, I was convinced that I snagged a carp or something. It couldn't be a largemouth, because if it was a largemouth, it was the mother lode, right?
Wow, yeah.
So I'm reeling. Okay, I'm on. I tell my partner, I'm like, get the net. As soon as I see it, I was so geeked. I was like, it's the biggest smallmouth I've ever seen.
Oh, man.
Which it wasn't, but it was definitely the biggest one I had on the end of my line. And, sure enough. Now, I know there's some huge smallmouth fish out there, but for the body of water we're fishing, a 4-pound, 9-ounce smallmouth is a great catch. That's a huge fish for this body of water.
Wow.
And pulled him in. Yeah, man. Beautiful fish too. Nice big red eye. Loved it. Never forget it.
5-pound smallmouth is good for any water.
Right on.
You say you were kind of fishing around brush piles and stuff. So was it deeper water or were you pretty shallow?
No. We had moved from the brush pile where I caught the largemouth earlier in the day.
Okay.
We were out in deeper water. We were about 30 feet out from this point where we had seen a school of smaller smallies chasing shad.
Okay.
And so we posted up there. Like I said, he caught a couple of the smaller fish. I didn't catch one, and I was trying to fish in a different direction, switch up what I was fishing, and the first cast with the square bill, I hooked up.
Gotcha. So these fish were up in the water column and feeding on bait. They weren't down on the bottom on a rock pile. Okay.
Nah, not at all. Not at all, yeah. Which a lot of people fish, that 25 to 35 foot depth for smallies out there on that water. So it was really cool that I caught it up shallow.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How do you normally target those fish, when you're specifically going after smallmouth?
The only reason we were up as shallow as we were is because we saw the school chasing the shad. So we followed them.
Okay. So what would you normally fish for for smallmouth like that if they're out on a rock pile? I mean, do you use a weighted bait and soft plastic to get down to them, or how do you normally like to catch them?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, obviously the Ned rig has just exploded. It's just it's a finesse situation, but it will catch you a larger fish. You're going to have to weed through, you know what I mean? A lot of the smaller ones to get to them, unfortunately. Yeah. I don't fish it as much as some of my friends do. Just because I'd rather hit the mother lode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weighted jig, any of those things just to get you down there, in the range of where the fish are hiding. It's so many tactics, I'm not going to try to school you on smallmouth fishing, but, if we're on the bass boat, we go find a rock pile. that magic depth that we found in our body of water is 25, 35 feet. And, give it some time. Don't rush it, because they're there and they see it. They just got to, get them to make that decision, that commitment.
Right. I guess unless they're super aggressive like they were that day when you threw your crankbait out there and one turn of the handle and bam.
One tug, yeah. Exactly. But like I said, they were feeding on shad, so he probably already had some in his gullet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He probably had just eaten a few, so they're fired up at that point.
Oh yeah, it's always amazing when you catch a fish like that, and they'll spit 2 or 3 things out of their mouth, and they're still going back for more when they hit your lure.
Exactly. Exactly. You gotta love it though.
Oh yeah.
Fish frenzy at that capacity can be magic.
Oh man, well, wow, that is a great day of fishing indeed to catch a smallmouth like that.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah, I've only ever caught little ones, the few chances I've had to go, and boy, I'd love to get on something like that one of these days.
Excellent fight. Totally different tug from the largemouth or the striper. Just really good fish to hunt, and they're gorgeous. We got out here. We caught maybe 5 between the 2 of us, and all of them had different patterns. Tiger stripes and leopard print, and this is just gorgeous fish. Gorgeous.
Oh yeah, coming out of that super clear water like that you're talking about. Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet they really do have a good color. Well, Silver, thank you so much for coming on today, man. I just had a great time talking with you and hearing about not only your fishing stories, but some of your on the road touring stories. Man, that's just great stuff,
right.
And I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you having me, John.
Be sure to check us out on Instagram, where you can scroll back through our prior posts to see the spectacular catches that our amazing guests are hauling in. And be sure to hit the follow button so you don't miss the new catches that are right around the corner. Our handle is @TelltaleFisherman.
This has been the Telltale Fisherman Podcast. Thanks for sharing another great tale with us. Be sure to check out the show notes page for more info on today's show and the gear we talked about. Keep those lines tight, and we'll catch you next time right here on the Telltale Fisherman Podcast.